So this is another weekend with the FarberWare Chef's knife. The sharpness is decreased really steadily throughout the use. So after about 3 weeks, it takes quite a while to break the skin. It's at this point now where it's slipping an awful lot on tomatoes and anything that's difficult to cut. On relatively easy to cut foods, like of course raw potatoes, you can still chop, you can still dice. But on cooked potatoes, going through the skin is very difficult. Going through the skins like this is very difficult. And again, on tomatoes and other things, when you're cutting up green onions, making the complete cuts on the bottom, it's usually a bit of an issue. This is a Chicago cutlery, also very inexpensive chef's knife. Comes decently sharp. You should be able to put a better edge on it than this. But in comparison, you can see how it immediately breaks the skin of the turkey and starts in on the cut. So the initial sharpness on this is probably about 50% of optimal sharpness, but still head and shoulders above the FarberWare, as you can see right now, and was actually sharper than the FarberWare new in box. So most people are not going to have any problems with Chicago cutlery if they all come this sharp, because it will start to cut almost immediately with no dead cuts. So I'm going to put the FarberWare essentially out of rotation right now. I'm going to sharpen it, then put it out of rotation, and I'm going to bring the Chicago cutlery knife in, and I'm going to start using this with the initial edge on it and see how long it lasts till it gets to the point that the FarberWare knife is. So here's your very common piece of paper, and you can see after 3 weeks you've got to start to cut right next to you with the edge turned off, and even then you're barely able to scratch the surface. So with the Chicago cutlery, no trouble making a cut. Of course, the paper was wet there and it tore. So that's it. I got about 3 weeks out of the FarberWare. Now I'm going to have to resharpen it. Now, of course, kitchen cutting is random from one day to the next, 1 week to the next. So it's very difficult to compare. If this one takes 3 weeks and the next one takes 4 weeks, well, that could just be a better 3 weeks or 4 weeks. But over time, looking at a large amount of knives and a large amount of kitchen uses, hopefully a pattern should be able to be seen. But unfortunately, when I get a nice knife like this that has a really decent initial edge on it, that doesn't require any dead cuts, can immediately slice into cooked meats like this, immediately slice into tomatoes, unfortunately I can still only check the edge retention of the initial edge once, and then I'm back on sharpening it. So it's sort of still a one-shot comparison there. But again, overall, looking at a number of knives, because I will be adding more and more knives to this comparison later on, hopefully you should be able to get some useful information out of it.